Have you ever wondered why people act in ways that seem confusing, contradictory, or even cruel? Why the confident man suddenly avoids eye contact when you ask about his childhood? Why the calm woman erupts when her authority is questioned? Why the friend who always makes you laugh disappears when you get too close? The answer is rarely about the present. As our elders would say, the truth is never in the words. It is in the wound beneath the silence. And if you listen closely, every person is telling you where it hurts. Not through sentences, but through patterns. Through tension. Through masks worn too long. Most people are not living from desire. They are living from fear. Nietzsche once wrote, "Most actions are not driven by purpose. They are driven by a deep fear of loss, of status, of love, of self-worth." This is where we begin. The person who over-explains everything is not trying to inform. They are afraid of being misunderstood. The one who dominates every conversation is not full of confidence. They are afraid they will be forgotten. And the one who stays quiet when the moment calls for truth is not weak. They are afraid of what truth once cost them. So when you truly want to read someone, do not ask what they want. Ask, what are they afraid of losing? Because fear, unspoken and unconscious, is the architect behind most behavior. And fear often wears the face of criticism. There is a reason why someone attacks the emotional. Why they mock sensitivity. Why they roll their eyes at vulnerability. It is not strength. It is projection. Nietzsche wrote, "What someone hates in others reveals what they are hiding in themselves." When someone constantly criticizes, do not look at their target. Trace the judgment back to its source. It is often not an insult. It is a confession. The man who laughs at displays of love might be terrified of his own desire for closeness. The woman who mocks others' appearances may be silently at war with her own reflection. The friend who attacks those who ask for help may never have been allowed to need anyone. Projection is not just a defense mechanism. It is a mirror held up to the soul. And when the guilt becomes too heavy, it often hides behind performance. You have met these people. The overly confident. The always prepared. The ones who never admit weakness. But watch carefully. The tight jaw. The excessive control. The rehearsed charm. This is not peace. It is guilt trying to stay unseen. Because as the elders would say, true peace has no need to perform. Nietzsche saw the same thing. He wrote, "When someone is chronically confident, look for the guilt they are trying to bury." So when a person seems too sure, too polished, too composed, do not be intimidated. Be curious. What part of them are they afraid will be discovered? This fear often becomes louder through exaggeration. You will hear people say, "I never care what others think. I am always happy. I have no regrets." And yet, beneath those absolute statements lies doubt. Exaggeration is the ego shouting over its insecurities. As Nietzsche put it, extremism in any direction is a form of imbalance, not strength. So when words sound too perfect, too bold, too final, listen for what is missing. Often, it is what hurts the most. And when the inner chaos becomes unbearable, People try to manage it by controlling everything around them. They organize obsessively. They micromanage. They insist on structure, rules, domination. But this is not leadership. This is fear with a clipboard. Control is not power. It is panic disguised as discipline. As one elder said, a person who cannot let go of control is not holding the world together. They are holding themselves from falling apart. So when someone demands control in every situation, ask gently, what happened when they lost it? Because often, something or someone once made them believe that without control, they would not survive. And so they perform. They perform strength. They perform confidence. They perform joy. But Nietzsche warned, the greater the performance, the more hollow the core. Look at social media. The curated lives. The endless updates. The flawless smiles. This is not evidence of happiness. It is evidence of hunger. People do not perform because they are full. They perform because they fear, they will not be seen unless they do. So the next time someone seems loud, dramatic, overpolished, do not assume they are full of themselves. They may be desperate to be seen without the act. And underneath all of this, there is something even more powerful shaping who we become. Childhood. Most people are not living from maturity. They are reenacting their childhood. A person who was ignored grows into someone who interrupts. A child punished for emotion becomes the adult who hides every feeling behind logic. A child who had to earn love becomes the adult who performs endlessly, even in relationships that hurt. As Nietzsche observed, people do not change. They repeat. And as our elders wisely said, behind every adult is a child still trying to feel safe. Behavior is biography. When you understand this, judgment fades. Because suddenly, you are not reading the person. You are reading the page they were written on. Even the words people speak carry echoes of pain. You may think someone is arguing from logic, that their beliefs are well reasoned. But often, people speak from wounds, not wisdom. The person who says, love is just a lie, is not being intellectual. They are remembering when love broke them. The one who says, you can trust no one, is not being wise. They are reliving betrayal. So instead of asking, why do they believe this? Ask, what hurt them into believing it? Because every belief, when traced far enough, leads to a wound. And in moments of vulnerability, the truth of who someone is will always be revealed. Do not watch how someone treats the powerful. Watch how they treat weakness, in themselves, or in others. The strongest are not those who dominate. They are those who can sit with brokenness without needing to fix, shame, or run from it. Because they know what it is like to break. And to not be broken by it. But there is another kind of fear that speaks loudly in silence. The fear of being forgotten. It is why some people become loud. Why they seek attention. Why they overshare or create drama. It is not vanity. It is a cry for acknowledgement. Because when someone feels invisible, they will do anything to be seen. Even if it means being misunderstood. So before judging someone for wanting attention, ask what might happen if they do not get it. Sometimes, People scream not because they want to be admired, but because silence once made them feel like they did not exist. And what of envy? People often attack what they secretly desire. The woman who mocks confidence might be longing to feel free. The man who belittles success may believe he will never reach it. The friend who gossips about someone's joy may not remember what happiness feels like. As Nietzsche revealed, criticism is easier than admiration. Envy is not evil. It is unspoken longing, a desire trapped behind disbelief. So when someone attacks you, pause. Ask not, why do they hate me? But, what part of me reminds them of what they think they lost? And finally, remember this, patterns are confessions. No one says, this is where I was hurt. But they show you. By disappearing when things get close. By staying busy to avoid silence. By flirting with everyone and connecting with no one. These are not random habits. They are blueprints of protection. Each one says, this is how I survived. This is where I was wounded. This is what I am afraid will happen again. So when you see the pattern, you are not seeing a flaw. You are witnessing a survival strategy. And when you understand this, truly understand, you stop personalizing. You stop blaming. And you start listening. Because the act of reading someone is not about being clever. It is about being kind. As our elders taught, do not try to fix the wound. Just offer warm company. Let us end here, for now. What you have just heard is not simply about others. It is about you. Because the more clearly you see others, the more gently you begin to see yourself. In part 3, we will go further into the hidden child within, and how understanding their voice might be the most healing thing you ever do. Until then, be still. Be gentle. And remember, people do not hide because they are false. They hide because once, it was not safe to be seen. And now that you see them, may you become someone who makes them feel safe to return.